Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. As you see in the thumbnail, this is the second part of what if Naruto was in Maken and got a harem. Before we begin, don't forget to like and subscribe, and also go and support the author, link in description. Naruto finally woke up rubbing his cheek from the punch he got earlier from Azuki. Man, what's with that Azuki girl? She's like Sakura with an even worse temper. Naruto thought as he jumped down from the loft, gently landing on the floor. Hey, you're up! Cha-cha exclaimed seeing Naruto land. Naruto looked up to see plates of chopped chicken and rice balls on the table. Dig in. Kimi and I made it especially for you. Cha-cha said as she and Kimi smiled at Naruto. Wow, thanks girls, this really means a lot to me. Naruto said with a genuine smile and a tint of pink across his cheeks. They're pretty good. Azuki said, eating the food that was meant for Naruto. Could use a little more salt though. Hey, that was mine, Naruto exclaimed. You snooze you lose, fox boy. Azuki said, chewing on one of the rice balls. Naruto groaned at Azuki's mean nature to him. Don't worry Naruto-kun, we have more. Kimi said, laying an extra plate on the table. Naruto quickly sat down and started eating his meal before Azuki decided to take that plate as her own as well. Wow, this is good, Naruto said, making Kimi and Cha-cha smile. Still could use some more salt, Azuki said, making Kimi have a down expression while Cha-cha pouted at the redhead. Are you two going to join or what? Azuki said. Cha-cha and Kimi just sighed as they took a plate and started eating the meal they both made. Next time, you're cooking the meals, Naruto, Azuki said. Naruto groaned at this. Fine, the sun-kissed haired blonde said with defeat, knowing that Azuki really meant it. After Naruto was done eating, he put the plate in the sink and headed straight for the bathroom. Where are you going? Azuki said with her hands on her hips. Clean that plate. Why? Naruto whined. Because you have to be more responsible, something no one ever taught you in your world, Azuki said. How do you know that? Naruto asked. Because I've read the manga and watched the anime, now get to work. It's not polite to let women do all the work, especially the ones who cooked for you, Azuki said with authority. And the ones who would punch you in the face if I asked them to do it while I take a shower, Naruto said with a dull look. Exactly. Now you're starting to get somewhere in being a decent man, Azuki said, heading into her room to get her stuff ready. Naruto just sighed as he started getting to work on cleaning his plate. After he was done, he headed straight for the bathroom, and as he entered the door he saw Cha-cha and Kimi naked. Naruto's jaw dropped as he saw Kimi's adorable body and A-cup breasts and Cha-cha's sexy curvy body with her firm, soft huge H-cup breasts. Naruto then had a nosebleed that shot him back into the wall outside the door. What happened? Azuki exclaimed as she ran out her room to see Naruto sitting in front of an open door with his back to the wall and a nosebleed and a shocked look upon his face. Azuki walked towards him and saw Cha-cha and Kimi walk out the bathroom with towels covering their bodies. Naruto-kun just came inside and saw us naked, Kimi admitted with a huge neon blush. Azuki had an irritated look upon her face as her fist trembled with fury. Next time knock, Azuki yelled as she then started beating the crap out of Naruto. All the while, Takaru, Haruko, Anaho and Himegami were hearing the beatdown upstairs. Well, it looks like they're awake, Himegami said, continuing to eat her breakfast. Takaru looked up at the ceiling with a look of pity. That poor guy, Takaru thought, feeling sympathy for his new friend. Upstairs, Naruto was on the floor with a huge bump on his head. Ah, my noggin, Naruto groaned, his head throbbing from the pain. You know, if Naruto wants, he can share a bath with us, Cha-cha said with a smile. Absolutely not, Azuki yelled. Naruto, Cha-cha, Kimi and Azuki were running straight towards the gate. Naruto was lucky that Minori had sent him some school supplies and money for his first day at Tenbi. The group of four made it to the gate where Minori was standing there with a grin and holding a giant fan in one hand and over her shoulder. Glad to see you made it on your first day, Naruto, Minori said as the group of four made it inside the school's campus. Of course. No way am I missing out on the chance to become stronger and control this new power, believe it, Naruto said with a determined grin, making Minori, Cha-cha, while Azuki smirked and Kimi smiled. The five then turned to see Haruko, Anaho and Haimgami running towards them with Takaru trying to catch up. As the three girls made it, Takaru was still running as the gates started to close. Come on Takaru. I know you can do it. Anaho said with her cat-like smile. Takaru was still trying his best to get in before the gates closed, but it looked like he wasn't going to make it. Naruto then had a determined look on his face as he then performed his signature jutsu. Kage Bushin no Jutsu. Naruto called out his signature jutsu's name as three clouds of smoke appeared bear him. Two clones ran out of the clouds of smoke and out the gate towards Takaru while a third clone stayed beside Naruto. The two Naruto clones grabbed Takaru and started dashing towards the gate before they threw him over the gate just as it closed and then disappeared in two clouds of smoke. As Takaru descended, Naruto and his last clone grabbed him before he landed and placed him gently on the ground. Wow, thanks Naruto. Takaru thanked Naruto just as his last clone poofed away in a cloud of smoke. Anything for a friend. Naruto said lift his fist up towards Takaru. Takaru smiled as he clenched his hand into a fist and bumped it with Naruto's. No time to get chummy. You all head inside now. Minori ordered pointing her fan straight ahead. They all started to leave in separate to head towards their classes. Naruto and Takaru were walking together as they talked. So what classes do you have? Takaru asked. I don't know. Naruto said taking out his schedule. Takaru took the schedule from Naruto's hands and took a look at it and smiled. Hey, you got the same schedule as me. Takaru said. Really? Great, Datbeo. Naruto shouted with his trademark grin and his fist pumped. I guess Principal Minori felt it would be best that Naruto and I share classes since I brought him to Tenbi. Takaru thought as he guided Naruto towards their classroom. Takaru and Naruto walked into the classroom and took their seats, sitting beside each other. Well, look who it is, the so-called legendary ninja pervert. Kengo said with a smirk. Shut up whatever your name is. Naruto said getting a pissed-off look from Kengo and laughter from Takaru. It's Kengo Usui. And whose side are you on Takaru? Kengo exclaimed. How'd I get dragged into this? Takaru said. Okay everyone, quiet down now please, class is starting. Tamika Amato, the classroom teacher and Yuka Amato's elder sister, had said. Tamika then gently clapped her hands together and said, Alright class, today we have a new student joining us at Tenbi, please welcome Naruto Uzumaki. Tamika said pointing towards the sun-kissed blonde-haired teen. Naruto blushed as all eyes were on him, unnerving him a bit. Yo. Naruto said with a nervous smirk and a wave to his fellow classmates. Naruto Uzumaki. Like, the Naruto Uzumaki. Wow, he looks a lot like the Naruto from the manga and anime. More like freakin' identical. Wow, he's really cute. Especially with those adorable whisker marks. More like hot whisker marks. You mean sexy. Dude, how much you wanna bet that's the real Naruto Uzumaki? Shut up man. Alright that's enough of that. Tamika said gently clapping her hands. Why is this loser playing cosplay? A student with sienna shoulder-length hair said. Hey leave him alone Soto. Takaru said defending his friend. Oh, are you going to make me? Soto said standing up from his seat which was in front of Takaru. Cause if you are then I got 5 complaints right here. Soto said clenching his hand into a fist. Leave Takaru out of this. Naruto said appearing behind Soto, scaring the crap out Soto and shocking everyone in the room. What? How the hell did you get behind me? Are you a fucking witch or something? Soto exclaimed. Funny, I thought the same thing about you guys when I first heard Maken was magic. Naruto said with a smirk and eye smiles. Fuck you. Soto yelled sending a punch straight at Naruto's face, but the blonde grabbed Soto's fist and twisted it along with his arm. You know I remember the teachers don't allow violence and swears in class. Naruto said releasing Soto. Soto, please go to Principal Minori's office. Tamika said still with her smile. What? Why? Soto exclaimed. Well even though I understand that boys will be boys, Principal Minori told me that if anyone were to start trouble that I'd have to send them to her. Tamika said with a smile and gently clapping her hands together. Soto growled and glared at Naruto one more time before he left the classroom straight towards Principal Minori's office. Alright, now that that's over, everyone please sit down and pay attention and we can get started. Naruto sat back down in his seat. Hey Naruto, thanks for sticking up for me. Takaru said. No problem Takaru. Naruto said with a smile that was gladly returned by Takaru. It was lunchtime right now for Naruto, who was sitting with Takaru and Anaho eating some sushi and rice balls that was packed by Cha-Cha and Kimi. Man, I don't get all this crap. Times, division, square root, where's the Maken stuff? Naruto said with a scowl and groan. Principal Minori usually teaches us how to wield our Maken power. Anaho said. You don't know how to do regular school work. Takaru said. Define. Regular. Naruto said with a dull look. It sounds like you need a tutor. Haruko said walking towards the three. Hey Haruko. Takaru said. Hi Haruko ne. Anaho greeted Haruko with her cat-like smile. What the hell's a tutor? Naruto asked raising an eyebrow. A tutor is someone who assists a person in learning what they need to know. Haruko explained. Do you know where I can get one? Naruto asked. I know the perfect person, Furin. Haruko said with a smile. Glasses girl. But she's so strict. Naruto whined. Which is exactly the kind of person who's qualified to teach someone. Now do you want to be up to speed in class, or do you want to fail? Haruko said with a stern look upon her face. I want to learn. Naruto quickly said. That's the spirit. Haruko said with a smile. Takaru and Anaho just laughed at Naruto's down expression. The end of the school day finally came and Naruto was groaning from all the complicated things he had tried, but failed to learn. If my noggin didn't hurt this morning courtesy of Azuki then it does now. Naruto said groaning as he, Takaru and Kengo were heading straight into the security committee club's room. So what's the security committee about anyway? Naruto asked. It's about stopping students who use their Maken for violence and not for good or when a fight gets too exciting. Takaru explained. Not the bikini babe wrestling exciting if that's what you're thinking. Kengo said. I wasn't. Naruto replied with a dull look. As they entered the room, Naruto was then tackled into a bone-crushing hug. Welcome to Maken Ki Naruto-kun. Cha-Cha exclaimed with much joy and excitement as she crushed Naruto's face with her breasts. Lucky bastard. Kengo grumbled. In welcoming our new member, I suggest we have a party in his honor. Yuka said gently clapping her hands together all the while smiling. Party. Naruto repeated the well-known social word as he managed to pull himself out of Cha-Cha's hug. A welcoming party to get to know each other. Yuka said gently clapping her hands again. I agree, you'll be able to properly introduce yourself there. Furin said. Plus I'm going to need know a few things about you if I'm going to be comfortable with tutoring you. Okay, so what do you guys have in mind? A trip to the hot springs, alright. Naruto cheered as he, Takaru and Haruko were walking in the mall. Takaru was wearing a black shirt that says, excellent. Across the chest, regular jeans and white with black sneakers. Haruko wore a magenta-colored short-sleeved shirt, short shorts, and black running sneakers. You seem very excited. Haruko said a bit suspicious of Naruto's intentions. Are you kidding me? I haven't been to a hot spring in a long time. I need this. Naruto exclaimed with a huge grin. His body language doesn't appear to be showing any signs of deceit behind his words, so I guess he's telling the truth. Haruko deduced. So all I need are trunks, right? Naruto asked. Actually you'll need more than that. You'll need casual clothing and clothing that you'll use when working out. Haruko explained. As long as I don't have to wear this school outfit all the time, then I'm fully okay with it. Naruto said with a smile. What's so bad about it? It looks way cooler than the ones all us other boys wear back at school. Takaru said. I guess, but I don't want to wear it every day. Naruto said. He's right Taki, it's disgusting to wear the same thing every day. Haruko agreed. The three then went inside a clothing store for men. Alright, let's see if they got anything orange around here, Dadbeo. Naruto exclaimed. No, you are not getting an entire wardrobe of orange clothing. You can only get one. Haruko said with a bigger sister tone. Ah, come on. Naruto whined. My word is final. Haruko said. It's best not to argue with her. Takaru said. Fine. Naruto said, crossing his arms and pouting like a child. Alright, let's see what we can find for you. Haruko said, dragging Naruto deeper into the store with Takaru following behind. Naruto looked around with Haruko seeing anything that he'd like, and he found it. Naruto grabbed an orange and bulk sleeveless hooded winter jacket that was in the same style as Naruto's old jumpsuit jacket, but with a hood and fur at the collar of the jacket and lining of the hood. This is perfect. Naruto said as he then noticed a pair of orange pants. Awesome. Naruto exclaimed with a grin. No, not awesome, I said one thing. Haruko said. Oh come on Haruko, it wouldn't hurt him to have pants to match his jacket. Takaru tried to reason with Haruko. Haruko still wasn't sure, but then Naruto used his henjutsu to transform himself into a 5-year-old version of himself as he gave Haruko the infamous puppy dog eyes look and the quivering lip. Haruko tried to fight it, but she couldn't keep on. She tried to resist, but in the end she broke. Haruko sighed with defeat. Fine, you can get it. Haruko said. Yada. Naruto shouted as he released his henge. Can I wear it now? You can try it on in the dressing room. Haruko said. Okay. Naruto shouted with excitement and a grin. Where is it? Naruto asked. Don't worry about it now, we still need to get you some more clothes. Haruko said. Despite not being the brightest guy when it comes to girls, but he actually had as much a good fashion sense as one. Naruto picked out a couple of white undershirt with black trims. The same shirt Cody Travers wears as his first alternate costume in Super Street Fight IV. Naruto also got 2 black shirts and 2 black muscle sleeveless shirts, and Haruko was nice enough to allow him to have an orange shirt. He also got a few blue jeans, a few black jeans, 2 pairs of jeans short, 1 black, 1 blue, trunks of course that were orange with black flame designs at the bottom of the legs, a black belt with gold belt buckle, a pair of white sneakers with 6 black rectangle designs on the sides of them, 3 on each side, a pair of black with white sneakers, biker boots, and 2 of Naruto's favorites, a pair of biker gloves, that were like Azuki's but black and had holes for the knuckles and back of the hand. And pair of black Carhartt boots, the last one for making those kicks leave a mark on his victims, I mean opponents. However, Naruto also found an awesome fur collar black leather jacket. When Naruto saw it his mind said, must have. Which he did do, the damn thing was expensive though, but worth it. After paying for the items, Naruto asked permission from the store clerk if it was okay if he could wear some of the clothing now, which the clerk was okay about and granted Naruto permission. After some time in the dressing room, Naruto came out wearing one of his white undershirts with black trims, black jeans with the black belt with gold belt buckle keeping it in place, his new Carhartt boots, and finally his new fur collar black leather jacket unzipped. Well, Naruto asked his friend's opinions with a smile. Not bad. Haruko said with an approved smile. Not bad. He looks awesome. Takaru said making Naruto grin. Naruto, buddy, you got to let me wear that jacket someday. Hell no, get your own. Naruto said holding his jacket tightly. Come on, please. Takaru begged. Get a job. Naruto said. I agree Takaru, you should get a job. Haruko said with an agreeing smile, making Takaru groan. The 3 then headed out with Naruto summoning some shadow clones to carry his bags. People kept on staring at Naruto and his identical twins with surprise, and one person said, damn, that must have been one busy mother. Say, can we get some food? Takaru said. Yeah, I'm starving. Naruto said holding his stomach. Well, it is getting pretty close to lunchtime. Haruko said. Haruko looked around and saw a maid cafe. Naruto, do you stare up girls' skirts? Haruko asked. What? Where the hell did that come from? Naruto asked. Just answer the question. Haruko said. No, why would I even bother doing such a thing? It's not like it would help in any way except make me look as perverted as Ero Sennin. Naruto said. Good, then we can go in here. Haruko said with a smile that Naruto wasn't a real pervert like Takaru, Kengo and basically the rest of the boys at Tenbi. Oh no, I forgot that Takaru is with us. Hey Haruko, you coming? Takaru said as he and Naruto headed inside. Wait up. Haruko exclaimed, running towards them. As all three headed inside, Naruto cancelled his shadow clones and decided that he and Takaru should hold them, not wanting to freak out the workers and possible customers inside. Welcome masters and mistress. Two workers dressed as French maids greeted the three with a smile. Naruto had a surprised look on his face, while Takaru just gawked at the amazingly perverted fantasy-fueling sight, and Haruko just smiled, but on the inside wanted to scold Takaru. Table for three. One of the maid waitress asked. Yeah. Naruto said, surprised by the fact that there are girls who actually chose to work like this. The girls showed them to their table and left 3 menus there. One of our maids will be serving you in just a minute. One of the maid waitress said as they then walked away. Whoa! They got ramen here. Naruto exclaimed with joy as he looked at the menu. Can I order it? Naruto asked with hope in puppy dog eyes. What's stopping you? Takaru said, smiling, with Haruko smiling as well. Yada! Naruto shouted with joy. Greetings masters and mistress. The three turned to the maid to earn a look of surprise on their faces, seeing their maid waitress was Azuki in a sexy pose. I'll be your maid for your stay here at Makaron Mansion today. I'm Azuki and I'm here to service you. It will be my pleasure to relieve some stress. Azuki. Haruko said her name, making Azuki have a look of shock and dread. I didn't know that you worked here. Haruko said with a smile, but really she was lying because she knew of this fact because of her, Anaho and Kengo, keeping an eye out on Takaru and Himegami when they were on their date. Oh, that's right, Azuki works here. She was mine and Himegami's maid when we came here. Takaru said as he remembered the last time he was here. You told them, didn't you? Azuki yelled with anger at Takaru, with anger frightening him. No, I didn't, I swear. Takaru exclaimed, putting his hands up in defense. Azuki turned to see Naruto still looking at her. What are you staring at? Azuki yelled at Naruto, bringing him out of his stupor state. Nothing, it's just that I think you look really cute in your outfit. Naruto quickly said, but then put his hands over his mouth at what he had just said. Azuki blushed at Naruto's with a surprised look, before she closed her eye and went, TCH. Just tell me what you ordered. Azuki said, sounding annoyed with the blush still on her face. Huh. Oh yeah, I'll have some miso ramen please. Naruto said. Right. And what about you two? Azuki said, glaring at the two, making them a bit uneasy. Teriyaki chicken with bean buns for me please. Takaru said, still sweating with fear of Azuki's wrath. Just a salad please. Haruko said with a smile and a bead of nervous sweat down her forehead. Right away, and please, enjoy your stay at Makaron Mansion. Azuki said with red Maken killer intent surrounding her body as she then walked away. Naruto just stared at Azuki with sad eyes. What's with you? Takaru asked. I feel that Azuki hates me. Naruto said with a melancholic tone and sad eyes. Takaru and Haruko were shocked at Azuki's assumption, and then had sad looks that he would actually think that Azuki hates him. Naruto, she doesn't hate you, she's just mean to every man. Takaru said. But why? It's not like I ever gave her a reason to be like that to me. Naruto said. It's just how she is. Haruko said, but that didn't cheer him up one bit. Just wait a while, I know what's going to cheer you up. Takaru said. Naruto just looked to the side with a sad face, but then it turned into shock and disgust with his jaw hanging. The two turned to see that Naruto was staring at the manager. The manager was a muscular man in a maid's dress that had short sleeves, dress wrist cuffs, lipstick and short blonde hair. I see you noticed the manager. Takaru said with an uneasy smile, and a sweat dropped down his head. Why is he dressed like a woman? Naruto choked out with an unnerved feeling. I guess he just likes to. Haruko said. This is without a doubt the freakiest thing I've ever seen. Naruto said. I might have not read your manga, but I think I heard that this guy may have dressed as a woman while you were taking a test. Haruko said. Yeah, but Orochimaru only did that so he could get into Konoha and put the curse mark on Sasuke. He never did it because he liked it. Naruto said to Haruko. Well, how do you know? He could be gay for all we know. Haruko said. Naruto just stared at Haruko for a moment before he burst out laughing. Oh man, that's a good one, Haruko-chan. Naruto said, still laughing. Haruko smiled that she was able to make Naruto happy. Just then Azuki came back with their food. Here you go, master. Azuki said to Naruto, placing his ramen on the table. Naruto took a whiff of his most delicious meal as he then drooled at the tantalizing smell. Naruto then took some chopstick, used them to grab some noodles and then inhaled them. Did you make this, Azuki? Naruto asked. Yeah, what of it? Azuki asked. It's one of the best ramen I've ever tasted. Naruto complimented with a grin, making Azuki look at him with surprise and a blush on her face. Thanks. You're not lying just to make me like you, are you? Azuki said with a suspicious glare. No way. If there's one thing I don't ever lie about, it's ramen and how good it tastes. Naruto said. Azuki blushed at the praise she was receiving from the blonde shinobi. No one had ever complimented her food before. It's true, Naruto loves his ramen. Takaru said with a smile. Naruto then inhaled the whole bowl in 8 seconds flat, shocking Azuki and Haruko. Can I have some more, please? Naruto asked with a smile, holding up his plate. Do I look like your maid? Azuki exclaimed, only to get a confused look from Naruto, making Azuki realize her mistake of words. Just give me that. Azuki said, taking away Naruto's plate. Takaru snickered and Haruko giggled at this. What's so funny? Azuki growled at them. Oh, it's nothing. Haruko said with one of her hand up in defense as she put on smile along with Takaru. Azuki just glared at them one more time before she left to the kitchen. Thanks again, Azuki-chan. Naruto called out, making Azuki blush as she entered the kitchen. Chan. Wow, Naruto, you sly dog. Takaru said with a grin. What? Naruto said, a bit confused. Naruto was on his 22nd bowl of ramen with the other plates next to him, all of them empty. Takaru, Haruko, Azuki, her manager and the other maids just stared in amazement of how much Naruto can pack away. Man, that was great. Naruto exclaimed. I'd have more, but Haruko told me not to go crazy with the money before we even got to the mall. And this is a very good reason as to why I told you to do so. Haruko said. Anyway, it's about to we head out. We have to be at the hot springs in 2 hours. Here's the bill. Azuki said, slamming the receipt on the table. What? How come it's so much? Takaru asked. I'll give you a hint. Azuki said, pointing her thumb at Naruto, who just smiled and shrugged his shoulders. The 3 customers all dug into their wallets and paid the amount for their food. What, no tip? Azuki said. Naruto dug into his wallet and pulled out $1,000 and extended it towards Azuki. Azuki, Takaru and Haruko looked at Naruto with shock. Aren't you going to take it? Naruto said, shocking Azuki again. It's your tip, ya know. Azuki just couldn't believe it. The boy who she didn't trust was actually giving her so much money, and with a genuine smile on his face. Takaru and Haruko felt that this was the perfect time to leave these two alone. Naruto, we'll meet you at the exit. Haruko said as she and Takaru got up from the seat and headed for the exit. Where'd he get all that money? Haruko asked Takaru. Your guess is as good as mine. Takaru said, shrugging his shoulders. Azuki just looked at Naruto. Why are you doing this? Azuki asked, looking at Naruto suspiciously. Naruto sighed with sad eyes. The truth is, I just want you to like me so we can be friends and not hate me or think of me as your enemy. Naruto admitted. Aha. I knew it. You are a perv. Azuki stopped her accusation and realized what Naruto had just said. Wait, what? You think I hate you? Azuki asked, shocked that he actually thought that way about how she saw him. Naruto, I don't hate you. Then why are you always angry whenever you see me? Did I do something wrong? Naruto asked. No, it's just I don't have a good opinion on men. Azuki said, crossing her arms. Why? Just because, I don't trust men. Azuki said. So, you'll never trust me? Naruto asked, looking down at the table with a sad expression on his face. Azuki just looked at him for a moment, before she put a hand on Naruto's shoulder. I wouldn't say that. Azuki said, making Naruto smile. You can start by giving you the tip. Naruto said. No, but it would be nice. What I mean is start acting more responsible. Azuki said. I'm trying, but, back in my world, nobody likes me. I mean, I guess I do have friends, but sometimes I wonder, ya know. Nobody really taught me right from wrong at first, and those that tried to didn't have time to properly teach me. Nobody really taught me anything. Naruto said with a sad face. What do you mean? You became a ninja, right? Azuki said. That's not what I mean. What I'm saying is, nobody ever taught me how to be a person. Naruto said with sadness. Azuki looked into Naruto's eyes and saw no deceit in them. He was telling the truth. Well, Azuki then grabbed Naruto's hand, making him look up at her with a surprised look. I'm your friend. Azuki said, making Naruto smile. And so is Cha-Cha, Kimi, Takaru, and Haruko, and I'm sure you're going to get a lot more, and don't worry, we'll put you on the right path. Azuki said with a smile. Naruto smiled at her before he got up from the table. Thank you, Azuki. Naruto said, about to give her a hug, but she gut punched him before he even made contact with her body. Don't take it the wrong way. I may have given you my friendship, but we're not that chummy. Besides, I'm not sure if you're a pervert like those slackers Takaru and Kengo. Azuki said with her arms crossed. Got it. Naruto choked out with pain as he held his stomach for a moment. Damn, her punches are almost as strong as Sakura-chan's. Naruto thought. Then, is this okay? Naruto asked as he extended his hand. Azuki smiled at him. Yeah, that's okay. Azuki said as she took Naruto's hand and shook it. Naruto then grabbed Azuki's hand and put her tip in her hands, surprising her. As a sign of thanks and of our new friendship. Naruto said with a smile, earning one from Azuki as well. After releasing her hand, Naruto headed for the exit to meet Takaru and Haruko, and then the three left together. Goodbye, masters and mistress, have a good day. Please come back and see us again soon. The girls from earlier said with a bow. Bye, Azuki-chan. See you at home. Naruto called out as he waved goodbye to his new friend. Azuki madly blushed as he did this. Well, does my little hard worker Azuki have a beau? The manager Catherine, formerly known as Guro Fujioka, said as he walked up to Azuki. What? No. I was just assigned to look after him. Azuki quickly said. Say what you want, but your body language doesn't lie. Girlfriend, you have a thing for that strapping young man, don't you? Catherine said with a smile and a wink, making Azuki blush even more. You've got good taste, Azuki. After all, you've done one of the best things a woman can do for a man. Dare I even ask what that is? Azuki grumbled. Feeding him with your delectable cuisine, of course. It's as they say, the quickest way to a man's heart is through his stomach. Catherine chimed. Azuki just quickly went back into the kitchen. I'm proud of you, Azuki. Work it for your man, girl. Catherine said in a singing tone, making Azuki blush deep red as she quickly closed the kitchen door. I'm going to get Naruto for embarrassing me like that. Azuki said. She knew the guy didn't know how to properly say things in public now, but she couldn't help but want to punch him upside the head for that little stunt. So Himegami has a fan club. Naruto said with a sweat drop expression. He, Takaru and Haruko were walking back to their dorms as they spoke. Yeah, I know, crazy. Takaru said. So who are they? Naruto asked. You know, I forgot actually. Takaru responded. Haruko sighed at this. Their names are Tanaka, Kobayashi, and Yamada. Haruko said. Oh right, that's it. Anyway, they're total stalkers and consider everything Himegami does or goes to as beautiful and holy as Kami. Takaru said. That's creepy, but now that I think about it, it does sound right considering Himegami acts like a spoiled bratty princess. Naruto said. Thank you. Haruko exclaimed, glad that someone finally said it. Naruto and Takaru just looked at Haruko with surprised looks, making Haruko blush with embarrassment at what she just said. I mean, that's not very nice of you to say, Naruto. Haruko said, acting all innocent with a smile. Then why are you smiling? Naruto and Takaru thought with sweat drop expressions. Well, we're here. Haruko said as they reached the building that inhabited their dorms. As they climbed the stairs, Haruko and Takaru stopped at their door. Remember, Naruto, we meet in an hour. Haruko said to the blonde shinobi. Right, I got it. Naruto said. Oh, and one more thing, it was nice of you for giving Azuki all that money. Haruko said. Well, she did cook 22 bowls of ramen for me, and someone who does that deserves that much money. Naruto said with a grin. Haruko just smiled, because she heard him say why he really gave her all that money back at the maid cafe. He's such a sweet kid. Haruko thought as she watched Naruto walk upstairs to his dorm. Haruko and Takaru went inside their dorm, and once they did, Anaho tackled Takaru in a hug, so happy to see her fiancé back home. This of course aggravated Haruko. God Takaru, you should be more like Naruto. Haruko said before heading into her room. Huh. Haruko. Please don't tell that's going to be a regular thing now. Takaru called out to the violet hair girl. Naruto had walked inside his dorm and dropped his bags in his closet before he took off his clothing, except for the necklace Tsunade gave him back when he was 13, and got dressed in his new trunks, and white sneakers. There, now I'll be all ready before I even head out, but now I got to wait an hour, so what to do? Naruto asked himself. He then spotted the cookbook Azuki gave him on the table. Naruto hummed before he smirked and crossed his index and middle fingers. We're home tilde, Cha-Cha chimed as she, Kimi and Azuki came into the door. As they walked in they smelled something cooking and found Naruto cooking. Naruto was stirring up some vegetables while one of his clones started chopping up some beef and another was frying rice. Wow! Azuki said, surprised that Naruto was actually cooking with Kimi and Cha-Cha in the same boat as her. Hey girls, welcome home. The original Naruto greeted them with his trademark grin. Naruto-kun, you're cooking. Kimi said with major surprise. Yeah, it took a while and I messed up a few times and had to start over, but I think I'm getting the hang of it thanks to my shadow clones. Naruto said, scratching the back of his head as he was making the vegetables jump a bit with the use of his pan single-handedly. After the clone working on the chopped beef was finished cooking the beef, the original Naruto mixed the vegetables with the chopped beef before he dispelled the clone and added teriyaki sauce and started stirring them all together. After a few minutes, Naruto and his clone were finished cooking the meal. Naruto then served 3 plates of his stirred vegetables and beef with the side of fried rice, before putting them on the table. Enjoy, I hope you girls like it. Naruto said to his 3 roommates. The 3 looked at the meal, which looked very delicious, before they sat down. Wow, it smells really good. Kimi said. It looks good, but does it taste good? Azuki said. I'll try it. Cha-Cha exclaimed with excitement as she grabbed a spoonful of the vegetables and beef with some of the rice before putting it in her mouth. Cha-Cha's eyes then widened greatly, scaring Naruto with the thought of her hating the meal he made for them. Oh man, it sucks. Now Cha-Cha-chan, Kimi-chan and Azuki-chan are going to hate me. And Azuki's probably going to beat the shit out of me. Naruto thought with fear and dread. Oh, my god, this is awesome. Cha-Cha shouted as she dug right in. Naruto was shocked at hearing this. Kimi then took a bite and smiled. This is great. Kimi said happily as she took another bit. Azuki then tried some and actually smiled. You know, this is actually really good, and it doesn't need any salt. Azuki said. So, I did good. Naruto asked with hopeful eyes. For once, yes you did. Azuki said. Yada. You girls don't know how much this means to me. Naruto said with much joy. Kimi stared at Naruto with starry eyes that had much admiration and affection. Wow, he can cook. Naruto-kun's becoming the man of my dreams. Kimi thought with a smile as her cheeks changed a tint of pink. This is so good. I just love a man who can cook. Cha-Cha exclaimed with a grin, making Naruto blush and smile while scratching the back of his head. You should really be thanking me, Naruto. After all, I am the one who encouraged you to cook in the first place. Azuki said with a smirk. Right. Arigato Azuki-chan. Naruto said with a bow towards Azuki, making her smile and blush. This guy. Azuki thought, still smiling and blushing. Naruto-kun, why don't you sit down and join us? Kimi said, smiling at Naruto. Oh, well. Oh come on. Sit down and enjoy your own food. Azuki said. Or you can just stand and eat, cause I sure am liking the view. Cha-Cha said with a smile, enjoying seeing Naruto shirtless, his muscles showing. Naruto blushed at this, before he served himself and sat down and started eating. I don't know, I think I can do better. Naruto said. That's how all cooks think of their meals. Azuki said. But trust me, it's still good. She said, making Naruto smile. After finishing their meal, Naruto and the girls met up with Takaru, Himegami, Haruko and Anaho, before meeting with the rest to go to the hot springs. Wow! Naruto said as he stared up at the rock formations with their own mini waterfalls going down into the hot springs themselves, which produced a good amount of steam. Behind Naruto was the changing hut, and the place was surrounded by a red fence, keeping the area separated from the wilderness of the mountain. This place is awesome, the best hot springs I've ever been to. Naruto said, still in a bit of awe. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Takaru said. One of the best places you'll ever be in. Kengo said. Especially with all those hot girls in their swimsuits. Girls in their swimsuits. Naruto repeated as he then got a blush. I wonder how Cha-Cha-chan, Kimi-chan and Azuki-chan look in their swimsuits. Naruto wondered. Hot tilde, Takaru and Kengo sang together like a duet. The sliding doors from the changing house then opened and the boys turned to Anaho in her pink bikini top and bikini skirt combo. Oh, I'm so happy we came back to this place. Anaho said with her usual cat-like smile. Takaru and Kengo looked on in awe at her swimsuit, but Naruto wasn't in the same perverted boat. He'll admit she was a looker, but he wasn't as big a pervert as the two next to him. I see you two have those dirty eyes again. Himegami said looking at the two perverted boys. She had her hair down and wore a one-piece black swimsuit with frilly white lining and bow in the center, with also a single black anklet with frilly white lining. I guess I should clean them out for you. The blonde girl said as little sparks of lighting shot from her fingers. We didn't see anything. The two said covering their eyes. And what about you, Blondie? Himegami referred to Naruto. Did you see anything? Only a blonde girl who likes to threaten people. Naruto said, making Himegami a bit annoyed. Then Naruto saw his female roommates and he was in awe. Kimi wore a cute one-piece black swimsuit which Naruto found her adorable in, especially with her hiding part of her face in a manga book making her look even cuter. Azuki wore a violet-blue bikini combo with red lining, and Cha-Cha wore a cheetah skin patterned bikini combo. In short, to Naruto, they were goddamn beautiful. Now you're staring. Himegami said. What are you, a cop? I guess next you'll tell me not to look at that rock over there. Naruto said, getting snickers from Takaru and Kengo, who found his joke pretty funny, but Himegami just glared at him and gritted her teeth a bit. It's weird. Whenever I see this girl she smells like a snake drenched in perfume. Naruto thought. So you smell it too, huh Kit? Kyuubi said from with Naruto. Hey, there you are, where've you been? Naruto asked the giant fox spirit that rested within his stomach. Stuck in this fucking cage watching you fool around with your new harem of women. Kyuubi said. I don't have a harem. They're just my friends. Naruto shouted to the fox through their mind link. Sure, and I'm the first Hokage. Kyuubi said sarcastically. They're much better looking than any woman you'll ever meet in Konoha, so if I were you I'd bang them already. Shut up, you perverted fox. Naruto yelled internally at his Biju. Fine, take your time, but if you want my advice on who to nail first, I say go with the dark-skinned one. She looks like she can show you a good time in the bedroom. Kurama said, chuckling, seeing the neon blush on Naruto's face. What's with the blush? Himegami asked with hidden fury. Huh. Oh, it's nothing, I'm just dealing with my personal thoughts. Naruto said, scratching the back of his head, still having a blush across his cheeks. Takaru and Kengo moved their fingers away from their eyes to stare at Haruko, who was wearing a white bikini combo with purple straps that held the two pieces in place. Taki. You're being rude again. Stop staring at me like that. Haruko yelled at her longtime friend. Naruto couldn't help but chuckle at the two's interaction. Ew, you guys are gross. Furin said. The three boys turned to Furin, who had a disgust look on her face, and Yuka, who had a surprised look upon her face with hands connected in her signature soft clap pose and over her mouth. Seriously, you guys are disgusting. Naruto was confused at what his soon-to-be tutor was talking about until he noticed that his fellow gender had rising soldiers. The two then had buckets thrown at their heads, making them fall to the floor. Man, I'm having some serious deja vu right now. Kengo groaned. Same here, buddy. Takaru groaned as well. Naruto just laughed at the two's pain. Well, at least one of you actually has some manners. Furin said, crossing her arms. Manners. Wow, that's something I never heard anyone tell me I have. Naruto said. Anyway, let's get started. Yuka said, gently clapping her hands together. Yuka wore yellow with green stripes patterned bikini combo. I'm Yuka Amato, Leadership Committee Treasurer, and part of my job is introducing the Leadership Committee members as well as Magical Enforcers and Security Committee members. Why are you even bothering with this? He's the only one here and he already knows who we are. Himegami said. True, but I still want to know where everyone stands. Naruto said, putting his arms behind his head. Well, if that's the case, then we'll make this quick. I am Furin Takaki, Leadership Committee President, and it's nice to meet you. Furin properly introduced herself. Furin wore a red and sky blue striped bikini combo with blue lining. I'm Haruko Amaya, Leadership Committee Vice President, and I'm glad you decided to join our group. Haruko said with a smile, already being fond with Naruto. I'm Anaho Kushia, first year, and I'm happy you've joined Naruto ni. Anaho said with her cat-like smile and her hands acting like cat paws. Naruto ni, man, I'm happy to hear that. I wonder how Konohamaru, Moegi and Udon are doing back home. Naruto thought with a sad smile. Remember the three genin who looked up to him. I'm Uruchi Minaya, first year Magical Enforcer Committee, and if you're friends with Takaru then I'm sure we'll get along, real swell. Uruchi said with a threatening smile and shaking fist in front of her. Uruchi wore a red bikini top that stopped midway of her torso area and was tied around her neck, and red bikini bottoms, both with purple lining. Why do I feel like she means the opposite of get along? Naruto thought, sweating as he was now scared of this girl. I'm Kodama Himegami, and that's all I'm telling you. Himegami said with her usual uninterested look. Cheery girl. Naruto thought with a dull look. And of course you know your roommates, second years Azuki Shinatsu and Cha-Cha Akaza, and our secretary Kimi Sato. Yuka introduced Naruto's roommates' roles. Wow, secretary. That a real important job, Kimi-chan, way to go. Naruto said with his trademark grin and giving the petite dark-haired girl a thumbs up. Kimi blushed and smiled at Naruto's compliment. Thank you Naruto-kun. Kimi said, staring at Naruto with starry eyes with full affection. Oh no, don't tell me you're falling for him, Kimi. Himegami said, making Kimi embarrassed with a neon blush, and Naruto have a blush as well. Kimi was so embarrassed she couldn't even say another word. First, Cha-Cha wants to get in bed with him. Himegami said, making Cha-Cha blush. Now you want to marry him. Kimi turned neon red and nearly fainted at this. What's next? Azuki wants to play 7 minutes in heaven with him. What the hell? What is wrong with you saying that? Me and Naruto are just friends. Azuki shouted at the petite blonde. You didn't say you didn't want to play with him. Himegami said, making Azuki turn red with rage. Okay. Naruto said, looking anywhere that wasn't his roommates. Oh, and don't forget the Arrow twins over there. Naruto said with a smirk, pointing his thumb at Takaru and Kengo. This made all the girls laugh at that, while Takaru and Kengo glared at Naruto for making them the butt of the joke. Nice one, Naruto. Everyone turned to see Minori and Aki at the doors. Minori wore a crimson-red bikini combo while Aki's swimsuit was more erotic. Aki's swimsuit was tiny strap-like lingerie-like bikini, covering only the entrance of her lower asset, and one whole one tied at her bottom going up her torso, barely covering her nipples, and was wrapped around her neck along with a necklace of an eye with a green emerald orb for its pupil. Naruto's jaw dropped at the sight of Aki's attire as he thought about his old perverted sensei and imagining the pool of nose blood he'd be drowning in at the sight of the sexy nurse's swimsuit. I see you're getting along well with the others, Naruto-kun. Aki said with her sweet innocent smile. Why yes, and if you don't mind me asking, but what are two highly respected teachers doing here? Naruto asked while bowing to the two elder women. Well, we're advisors who are also supervisors, of course. Minori said. Oh, I guess that makes sense. Naruto said. Of course it makes sense. We gotta keep things from getting too exciting, like Cha-Cha finally jumping your bones. Minori said. And just like that, Naruto had a perverted nosebleed that didn't require Cha-Cha squishing her breast into Naruto's face, and he then quickly covered his nose. Cha-Cha blushed at this, but inside was squealing with joy that Naruto thought of her that way. Yes, I do have a chance. Cha-Cha thought with joy and a huge grin on her face. And here I thought those two slackers were the only perverts here. Azuki said looking at Cha-Cha with a dull look. Anyway, just introduced yourself. Minori said. Oh, I'm Naruto Uzumaki and I hope to control my power, become one of the best Maken users and get to be good friends with all of you. Naruto introduced himself. Oh, that's nice. Yuka said, gently clapping her hands. Well, since that's out of the way, Cha-Cha. Okay. Cha-Cha exclaimed as she threw a giant red shuriken aimed at a giant ball that was tied to the changing house only for it to hit and bounce off and heading straight for Naruto. Oh number. Cha-Cha exclaimed as her shuriken headed straight for her dream boy. Naruto, get out of the way. Azuki yelled as she and Kimi were frightened for their friend's safety. Naruto didn't know what came over him, but he felt to just stay there as the shuriken came closer. As it came closer, everyone was scared of Naruto losing his life, but suddenly as it closed in, Naruto grabbed the giant shuriken as one of its tips was mere inches to his face. Everyone looked at Naruto with shock as he just stabbed the giant shuriken down into the ground. Wow, either Kami took over my body or I just grabbed this thing effortlessly on my own. I wonder if it has to do with this new power I have. Naruto thought. Naruto looked up only to get his face being met with Cha-Cha's breast again as she and Kimi hugged him, so happy he was still alive. I'm so happy you're still alive. I'm sorry I almost killed you. Cha-Cha exclaimed with anime tears down her cheeks. I'm also so happy. Please don't ever die. Kimi exclaimed with her own anime tears. Naruto blushed at how much love the two were giving him. The two girls then separated from him as Azuki walked towards them. Once Azuki was in front of Naruto, she punched him upside his head. Don't scare me like that ever again. Azuki shouted. Naruto rubbed his head to ease the pain, then he felt Azuki put her hand on Naruto's shoulder, making him look up at her smiling face. But I'm glad you're okay. Azuki said, giving Naruto a smile, who returned it back. Now isn't that sweet? Aki said with a smile. Hey, can we get in the hot springs now, if that's okay? Naruto asked. I agree. Azuki said with a smile. Yuka gently clapped her hands together and smiled. Alright, let's. Yuka said, still smiling. Everyone was now inside the water and enjoying the hot springs. Naruto released a breath he didn't even know he was holding as he felt the warm sensation of the hot springs. Ah, I needed this. Naruto said with a wide smile. You seem very relaxed. Minori said to Naruto. Enjoying the hot springs, are we? Aki said to Naruto with a smile. With all the stuff that's happened to me yesterday and this morning, I think I deserve this. Naruto said with his wide smile still on his face. As he was enjoying the day, Naruto noticed Cha-Cha under the waterfall with her eyes closed and doing a ram hand sign. Is she meditating? Wow, I never expected a girl with so much energy to actually meditate like it was nothing. Naruto thought with his respect for Cha-Cha going even higher. Naruto then headed towards Cha-Cha and then stopped in front of her. Naruto stared at Cha-Cha's calm face as her hair was getting wet, making her hair cover her forehead and her ponytail drooping to the side of her face. Wow, she looks so beautiful, especially when she's at peace. Naruto thought with a smile, admiring Cha-Cha's beauty. Suddenly Cha-Cha's eyes shot open, scaring Naruto a bit. Hi. Naruto said with a nervous smile. Naruto-kun. Cha-Cha said, exclaimed his name with joy as she jumped onto him and hugging him, again having his face smooshed into her breasts. Wanted to spend some quality time with Cha-Cha-chan. Cha-Cha asked as she rubbed her cheek atop of Naruto's head and pulled him even closer into her own breasts. Oh Kami, please don't let me get a boner. Naruto prayed to God in his mind, hoping that he would be spared from feeling the wrath of the women, such as Azuki, who would discover it. Actually, yeah, Cha-Cha, I wanted to ask if you could teach me how to meditate like you just did. Naruto said, his voice mumbling onto Cha-Cha's breasts. You want me to teach you? Awesome. I'm actually going to be Naruto's sensei. Cha-Cha exclaimed as she continued to hold Naruto close to her, specifically her breasts. The others saw this, but they relaxed when they heard that Naruto only wanted to learn how to meditate. Kango glared at Naruto and how lucky he was. Why the hell can't I ever have a hot personal sensei? Kango mumbled. Because you're a pervert, while Naruto only cares about getting stronger. Takaru said. Whose side are you on? Okay, now just stand here. Cha-Cha said, putting Naruto underneath the warm waterfall that made his hair wet. Feels nice, right? Cha-Cha said, getting a nod from Naruto. Well, don't focus on that. She exclaimed, scaring him a bit. You must focus on everything, and only what's inside you. Cha-Cha said. Normally that would confuse someone, but somehow Naruto actually knew what she was talking about. Well, what he thinks she meant anyway. Naruto closed his eyes and made a ram hand sign like Cha-Cha. Focus on everything and only on you. Cha-Cha whispered. After a few moments on concentrating, Cha-Cha decided to see if he was getting it. Wake up! Cha-Cha yelled, making Naruto jump out of his almost meditative state with a scared look upon his face. What's wrong? Naruto quickly asked. What's wrong is that you failed. Cha-Cha said with a frown. Nani? Naruto said, raising an eyebrow in confusion. You're not supposed to focus on me. Cha-Cha said with a focused look. But I thought I was supposed to. Naruto said. Cha-Cha then grabbed Naruto's whiskered cheeks and brought her face close to his, making Naruto blush cherry red as their noses touched and their lips a mere inch away from each other. You are, but not for long. Take everything into account. Let their energy flow within you and then become one with them, so they are all you focus on and they are the only thing you focus of within yourself. Cha-Cha explained. Focus tilde. She whispered, leaning in a bit more, making their lips brush against each other. You two better not be kissing over there. Azuki yelled with fury as she saw how close Cha-Cha and Naruto were to actually locking lips. Kimi blushed red at this and took the event as motivation to actually try in getting Naruto. Cha-Cha may be her best friend, but she refused to let her win their little battle of love. Oh come on. How fucking lucky can one blonde baka be? Kengo shouted with annoyance. You got a problem with blondes, baka. Himegami said. Her and Naruto didn't seem like the best of friends, but Himegami will defend a fellow blonde since she is one. Nothing. Kengo stuttered with fear. Cha-Cha pulled away from Naruto, allowing him to give it another try. Naruto closed his eyes and made a ram sign again as he started to try his meditation again. Take everything in. Naruto thought as he breathed in some warm air. Let all the energy he felt around him enter his body. Let it flow within. Naruto thought as he felt the energy and elements of nature enter and flow within his body like it was a part of his blood. And become one. And somehow Naruto actually connected with everything around him and yet was only focused on the energy that was flowing within him. Hello tilde, Cha-Cha chimed as she waved her hand in front of Naruto. Cha-Cha then got a smile as she decided to test his focus by giving him a kiss on the cheek. Cha-Cha. Azuki shouted her name with surprise and annoyance at what she just did, with Kimi blushing at the sight. Cha-Cha then grabbed his head and smashed her breasts onto his face. Cha-Cha. Azuki shouted her name even louder as Kimi blushed cherry red at the sight, with everyone looking on with shock. Well, the students anyway. Aki and Minori just looked surprised with how forward Cha-Cha was with Naruto. Lucky bastard. Kengo grumbled, gritting his teeth. I don't even think he knows what's going on because he's too focused in his meditation. Takaru said with a huge blush and steam coming out of his ears. As Cha-Cha backed away, she scratched her chin, thinking of another way to test how good Naruto's meditative state, and she got a big grin in just the right test to see if he was totally into his meditation. Cha-Cha lifted her hands up a bit and wiggled her fingers, making her look like the handsy type, which she pretty much was sometimes, before she threw his hands down into the water, heading straight for his super soldier. Everyone's jaws dropped at what she was doing, which is basically molesting someone. Oh my. Aki said, putting a hand over her mouth as she blushed at what Cha-Cha was doing to the new blonde member. Girls got guts. Minori said, blushing as well. Okay, that's it. Azuki yelled as she ran to Cha-Cha and grabbed her arms before wrapping her own arms around Cha-Cha's shoulder, keeping the dark-skinned girl's arms at bay from Naruto. Kimi had a neon blush and swirls for eyes after seeing her best friend touch their crush's private area. Geez Azuki, I was just testing him. Cha-Cha said. Testing what exactly? His focus or his size? You don't do that to him. Azuki yelled. Azuki's in love tilde. Himegami chimed with a triumphant smile and her eyes closed in satisfaction. Shut up. Azuki yelled, but then she and Cha-Cha noticed a drop of water floating in midair. What the? Suddenly droplets of water started coming out of hot springs and started floating in midair. Then small streams of water came up from out of the hot springs and started to move in fluid motions around the area and the security committee, but the streams and droplets of water flow and dance around Naruto the most, and the rays from the sun reflected of the water, giving the area a beautiful twinkling shine. Is he doing this? Azuki asked. I don't know, I never was able to do this while I meditated. Cha-Cha said. Suddenly flowers from outside the fence floated into the hot springs and dance around the place, with most of them dancing around Naruto. Incredible. Minori said. He's connected his own energy with nature through his Maken energy and chakra. It's so much. Aki said with awe. Everyone stared at Naruto with awe as to how incredible he was with his abilities while he was meditating. The whole place looked like a beautiful scene out of a fairy tale. It's all so gorgeous. Haruko said as her and the others were enchanted by the whole scene. Cha-Cha, Azuki and Kimi stared at Naruto with starry eyes. They look at him with so much amazement, admiration, and affection. One thought was in their minds as they stared at him: he's amazing. Suddenly Naruto opened his eyes and looked to his left to see a giant ferocious bear headed their way. Naruto stood up, and as he did, the floating water had went back into the hot spring and the flowers had gone with the wind, except for a few that fell into the hot springs. Naruto's hair was now wet and down, with it being spiky down the bottom of it, the jewel on his necklace shining from the reflection of light from the sun, and his muscles unconsciously tightened, making him flex. All the women drool at the sight of his new sexy visage. Naruto grinned just like Anko Mitarashi as he stared at the mad bear. Looks like we got a party crasher. Naruto said, still grinning. Everyone turned to see the attacking bear heading straight for them. Naruto didn't know what was up with him, but he felt the need for the thrill of battle. As the bear charged at Naruto, the blonde charged at the dangerous animal as well, and as they clashed, Naruto grabbed the bear's shoulders and started pushing the animal back. Everyone was shocked at the sight of Naruto actually pushing back a bear, but Naruto was also surprised of what he was doing as well. Naruto slammed the bear's back onto the fence and was about to punch it in the gut with his fist that was glowing with the bluish-green energy from yesterday. Naruto, do hurt it. Azuki yelled as she released Cha-Cha. What? Why? Naruto asked, turning his head to her, giving the bear the chance to attack Naruto with his claw. The bear sent its claw upwards at Naruto, sending the blonde flying into the hot springs with 4 claw wounds across his chest. Naruto. Everyone yelled his name. Naruto got up from the water as his new wounds started to bleed. That damn bear's gonna pay for this one way or another. Naruto said. Just don't hurt him. Azuki yelled. I won't, Naruto said, a bit annoyed with that. The bear then stood up and roared as at Naruto as a beam of green light shot out of its mouth. Naruto moved to the side to avoid the beam that left a huge hole in the fence and in one of the side of the mountains. But who's going to keep this thing from hurting us? Naruto said with a shocked face and raised eyebrow. I don't think this is a regular bear. Takaru yelled. The bear charged at Naruto and started swinging its claws at the blonde, who kept dodging all the attacks. Die. The bear actually shouted as it was about to send its claw down on Naruto, but Cha-Cha came from behind the bear and wrapped its arms around the bear and performed a suplex on the animal, slamming him down onto the hot springs. Naruto stared at Cha-Cha with amazement. Whoa, she's super strong. If Suan Ba-chan taught Kami only knows what she could do. Naruto thought with admiration and respect as Cha-Cha released the bear and stood up. Are you alright, Naruto-kun? Cha-Cha asked. Naruto nodded, making Cha-Cha smile. Did that bear just talk? Takaru yelled out. What the fuck? Kengo yelled as well. Cha-Cha, what did I say about hurting that bear? Azuki yelled. Azuki, shut up. That animal almost killed Naruto-kun. Kimi yelled, shocking Azuki. Suddenly the bear stood and was about to send his claw at Cha-Cha, but Naruto grabbed her around the waist and jumped away before the creature could send its attack. As they landed, Cha-Cha grabbed Naruto and slammed his face into her breasts again and hugged him. Naruto-kun, you saved my life. Cha-Cha exclaimed with joy. What's with you and slamming my face into your boobs? Naruto said, his voice sounding muffled from Cha-Cha's breasts squishing his face. We have to take this bear down. Haruko exclaimed. No. Leave the bear alone. Azuki and Himegami shouted. That's not even a bear, it's a fucking monster. Uruchi yelled. The bear charged at Naruto and Cha-Cha, but Takaru ran at the bear and rammed it with his arm, but after that the bear smacked Takaru away with the back of its paw, sending him flying. Taki. Haruko yelled the nickname she gave for him with worry and concern before it changed into a look of anger as she charged at the bear with her bakken. As the purple-haired girl charged at the bear, she jumped at it and swung her bakken at it, but the bear blocked it with its arm and went for a swing. Haruko. Yuruchi yelled her idol's name before she jumped at her and saved her by getting her away from the creature's claws. Thanks, Yuruchi. Haruko thanked the first-year student as they landed. The bear roared as it was ready for another assault. Maken. Compressor. Cha-Cha exclaimed as her Maken, which was a glove with green shining studs on the knuckle area, glowed as it made a red fence board grow to giant size before she slammed it down onto the bear's head. Take that. That's for hurting Naruto-kun. Cha-Cha exclaimed, but as she tried to take the giant board off of the bear's head, said creature grabbed the board with its bare hands, I hope nobody considers that a pun, and then started swinging it around with Cha-Cha still hanging onto the board, before the bear threw her and the board into the air flying. Cha-Cha. Everyone shouted her name, before Naruto got an intense look on his face as the bluish-green energy surrounded his body before he jumped and rocketed into the sky. Naruto accidentally passed Cha-Cha as he was flying. Damn it, stop. Naruto thought as he stooped in midair and turned, managing to grab Cha-Cha in his arms bridal style. Naruto-kun, you saved me again. Cha-Cha exclaimed with a huge smile as she wrapped her arms around the blonde's neck. Can we beat it up now? Naruto asked as he landed. No. Izuki and Himegami yelled. As the bear roared again, giant handcuffs and metal locks appeared on the bear out of nowhere. There, now he's all tied up. Kimi said with a smile as her pen-like Maken known as tablet glowed. The bear was now pissed at it, glowed red before it roared as its body broke through its confines. The bear then shot its mouth beam at Kimi, who fell on her, but as the beam almost blew her head off. My Maken. Kimi said as she noticed her Maken fell out of her hand and was somewhere in the hot springs. The bear charged at Kimi on all fours. Kimi was frozen in fear as the bear came closer and closer. Kimi screamed as she put her arms up in defense as she thought, someone save me. Suddenly Naruto appeared in front of her ready to take on the bear. Remember, don't hurt it. Izuki shouted. Izuki. The rest of the security committee, minus Himegami and Yuka, shouted her name with annoyance. Right, no hurting the bear. Naruto thought. But then how do I deal with this bastard? If only you'd summon me, then I'd scare that little shit away. Kyuubi said with Naruto's mind. That's it. Kyuubi, I need some chakra. Naruto said through his mind link with the giant beast. Why should I? Kyuubi said. Fine, I guess I'll just stand here and die and drag you to hell with me. Naruto thought. The Kyuubi growled and grumbled as he gave Naruto some of his chakra. Naruto's whiskers darkened, his teeth elongated into fangs, his hair becoming wilder, and his eyes becoming crimson red and slit as red chakra surrounded his body. As the bear was almost in front of him, Naruto grinned before he breathed in a huge breath of air, before he roared straight at the creature as it was right in front of him. The roar was so powerful the bear was sent flying straight into the mountain. That right, who's the king of the forest now? Naruto exclaimed. He laughed seeing the bear indented into the mountainside. The bear then gritted its teeth before it pulled itself out of the mountainside and started roaring, ready for another attack. Okay, I've just about had enough of this thing. Minori said as she extended her arm, pointing her palm at the bear before she shot out a giant wave of Maken energy at the creature. As the attack faded, the bear was seen with both its arms up in a blocking position, before it lowered them and glared at everyone, specifically Minori. Wow, smart bear. Minori said with Aki nodding her head in agreement. The bear then roared once again as a sign for coming back for more, but then a rock suddenly hit the animal square right between the eyes, making it dizzy before it fell on its back, defeated. Everyone blinked their eyes for a moment of confusion before they all turned to Kengo, who was in a throwing position. Kengo blinked a couple times at what he had just done before a grin and then started chuckling until it turned it to laughter. You see that? Haha, I took that thing down. And with a single rock. Who's need Maken? Go Kengo. Kengo cheered as he started doing a victory dance. Okay. Takaru said as he stared at his best friend's silly dance. Suddenly a black beam of light from the sky hit the bear. The bear was then lifted into the sky by an invisible force before it and the beam vanished into the sky. Everyone just looked up to where the bear disappeared with confused looks on their faces. Well, that happened. Takaru said. The Kyuubi chakra that was emanating off of Naruto lessened, only leaving his eyes crimson and his fangs just pointing out of his mouth a bit. Thank you, Kurama. Naruto thanked his inner beast with a smile. What did you just call me? Kyuubi, actually known as Kurama, said. Kurama. I remember that's what that old man who did surgery on me said your real name was. Naruto said to the giant fox through their mind link. You don't call me that. You've never earned my trust to earn permission. Kurama yelled at Naruto. Naruto just smiled. Then I'll earn your trust someday. And between you and me, I like the name Kurama. Naruto said to the nine-tailed fox through his mind before cutting of the connection. Kurama just growled as he closed his eyes. Earn my trust. Little bastard. Kurama said, before opening his eyes. You got a long way to go, kid. Naruto turned to Kimi with a smile, before he crouched down in front of her. You alright? Naruto asked, earning a nod from Kimi. Naruto offered her his hand, which she gladly took. Naruto helped her up as the rest of the features the Kyuubi chakra gave him returned to normal. I'm glad. I wouldn't really like imagining my life in this world without you by my side. You're a dear friend to me, Kimi. Naruto said with a smile. Kimi stared at Naruto with starry dreamy eyes and a smile. Yeah. Kimi said dreamily as she looked at Naruto's wet down hair, strong muscles and good looks. He may see me as his friend, but I promise you Naruto-kun, we'll be more than friends, someday. Hooray for Naruto-kun. Cha-Cha cheered as she hugged both Naruto and Kimi. As Cha-Cha released them, Naruto noticed Azuki making her way over to him. Oh, Azuki-chan, what's up? Naruto said, sweating as Azuki stopped right in front of him. Azuki then lifted both her hands towards Naruto, making the blonde flinch, thinking she was going to strangle him. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to hurt the bear. Naruto yelled with fear as he thought Azuki was going to kill him, but instead Azuki wrapped her arms around Naruto, making the blonde look at her face with a blush. Azuki. I'm not angry with you, I'm glad you're safe, plus you didn't hurt the bear, at least not on purpose, so I'm glad that you listened to me. Azuki said, blushing. Naruto stared at her for a moment before a smile started to form on his face as he hugged her back. Suddenly Azuki punched Naruto in the head as she separated from him. What was that for? Naruto asked. Why, your hands were going too low. Azuki said with a blush and her arms crossed. Ah man, come on, I'm the one who beat the bear. Kengo whined. You threw a rock at it. Takaru said. Still, that's what knocked him out, so where's my hug from a hot girl? Kengo said with envy at all the attention Naruto was getting. Well, he did go head to head with the thing as it charged at us. Oh yeah, sure, the blonde does a stupid thing, and what does he get? A bear claw wound on his chest and a trio of chicks showing him the good stuff. Yeah, that's really fair. Kengo complained. Oh shit, that right. Naruto, your chest. Takaru exclaimed as everyone looked at the claw marks the bear had left on the blonde shinobi's chest. Oh my, we have to get that looked at. Aki said, heading her way to Naruto, but the blonde put his hand up as a sign of ceasing her tracks. I'll be fine, see. Naruto pointed to his chest to show that the claw marks were healing before it was all gone. Everyone stared in awe at Naruto's extraordinary healing rate. Weird, it's never been that fast before. Naruto said, raising his eyebrow. Must be from that Maken energy mixed with your chakra. It's most likely excelling your previous abilities to new heights. If controlling the elements like water and flowers to float around you, pushing a bear back with your own strength and jumping high into the sky shooting like a rocket were anything to go on. Minori said with a smile. Wow. I did all that. Damn, I really got to get a hold of this new stuff. Naruto said, scratching the back of his head. Yuka then gently clapped her hands together once more, gaining the others' attention. Well, in any case, that was one heck of a display of your power. No doubt this makes this one heck of a welcoming party none of us will ever forget. Yuka said with her usual smile. And now we'd like to welcome you just one more time. Welcome to Maken Ki Naruto. Everyone said in unison as the ball cracked open, revealing a sign that said, Welcome new member. Cha-Cha was supposed to hit that earlier. Yuka said, still smiling. Naruto smiled as he looked at the sign until he noticed Cha-Cha with puppy dog eyes and her finger on her lip as she looked at him. I'm sorry about before, Naruto-kun, can you ever forgive me? Cha-Cha said in a sorry innocent tone. Of course, Cha-Cha-chan, accidents happen. Naruto said, scratching the back of his head. Cha-Cha then grinned as she then brought Naruto into a big hug with her breasts, you guessed it, smooshing Naruto's face. Cha-Cha, will you stop doing that? Azuki exclaimed as she tried pulling Naruto out of Cha-Cha's hug and off of her huge globes. No. Leave us alone. Cha-Cha exclaimed, pulling Naruto back into her loving embrace. Cha-Cha, please, you're suffocating Naruto-kun. Kimi reasoned as she joined Azuki in pulling Naruto away from Cha-Cha. Ah, tilde, how cute. Yuka said. Define cute. Furin said as she and the others stared at the four roommates' interaction. The next day, Minori was in her office with her old friend and fellow faculty member, Gen Tagayashi, discussing about Naruto's new power. So this kid's got unimaginable Maken power that not even the best of Kamigari could stand up against. Gen asked in amazement. Well, that's actually my estimation, but if my hunch is right then yeah. Minori said. And I need you to gauge how much power he has, if your machines can take it, that is. Gen just went, HMPH, before he grinned. Please, my machines can take on any power level. General said with pride. Let's see if you still think that when you see what the kid has to offer. Minori said with a smirk. Naruto, Takaru and Kengo were walking in the school grounds just talking like good friends usually do. Honestly, who do you like better, Cha-Cha, Azuki or Kimi? Kengo asked Naruto. Depends on what do you mean by like. Naruto said. You know what I mean. Kengo said with a grin and wiggling his eyebrow. Naruto just sighed. Well, I'm not so sure. I mean, I'll admit that I may have feelings for each of them, but I just can't decide who's better than the others. They're just all so perfect to me. Naruto admitted. Oh, you sly dog. Takaru exclaimed as he slapped his hand on Naruto's back with a proud grin. Now that's the side of Naruto Uzumaki that I wanted to see. My brother. Kengo exclaimed with an equally proud grin as Takaru's. Naruto just had a sweat drop expression as he heard these two's comments. I can't believe these are my best friends here. Naruto thought. So how was your study session with Furin? Takaru asked. She's a taskmaster. I've seen some strict senseis in my life, but she's without a doubt the most strict I've ever seen. But she really helped me out with catching up with my studies, especially with the help of my shadow clones making it that much quicker. Naruto said. Nice, so now, but before Takaru could finish his sentence, the three heard a conversation at the track, which they were headed to. I thought we settled this before. Azuki's voice yelled. Nah-on, you changed the bet to paying for repairing your clothes. A deep man's voice spoke. Naruto sensed trouble, so he ran towards the track with Takaru and Kengo running after him, but were trying their best to keep up since Naruto was incredibly fast since he is a shinobi. Naruto made it past a crowd into the front to see Azuki facing a giant muscular guy with tan skin and spiky back red hair. He wore a topless cap exposing his red hair, a white shirt, black sleeveless jacket, black pants that weren't buttoned or tied by a belt, and Japanese sandals. Who the hell's this guy? Naruto wondered with a raised eyebrow. As Kengo and Takaru finally made it up with Naruto with the two out of breath. Hey Kengo. Naruto said the good-looking dark-haired teen's name, making him look at him. You know almost everything and everyone around here, right? Well, I don't wanna toot my own horn. Kengo said with a cocky smirk. Who's this guy? Naruto asked. Kai Kurogasa. He's a true romantic. He hasn't had a girlfriend in. I don't care. What's the deal with him and Azuki? Naruto asked with a serious look directed at Kurogasa. It seems he's asked Azuki out on a date again. Kengo said. Didn't they have a fight to decide and Azuki won it, making him not be able to ask her out ever again? Takaru said. He said that Azuki changed the bet, at least that's what my ears heard. Naruto said. Damn, good hearing. Takaru complimented. Oh, that's right, she did, which means he's allowed to ask her out. Kengo said. So they're going to fight again. This is major trouble for Azuki. Takaru said. What? Why? Naruto asked with worry. Last time she didn't win on her own. I kinda stepped and gave her the advantage to win, but since she's most likely going to go against him on her own, then, Takaru didn't have to finish the sentence in order for Naruto to understand. Naruto glared at Kurogasa before he stepped in. Hey ugly, leave the girl alone. Naruto exclaimed as he walked in front of Azuki, making everyone gasp. Who are you? Kurogasa demanded the newcomer's name. Naruto Uzumaki, or better known as the guy who's going to kick you ugly deformed ass, if you don't leave my friend alone. Naruto said with a glare. Naruto, what the hell are you doing? Azuki said. Naruto Uzumaki. You're the guy who lives with Azuki, Cha-Cha and Kimi. Kurogasa exclaimed, making everyone gasp, and all the men looked at Naruto with envious looks. Wow, word travels fast. Naruto said to himself before he turned back to Kurogasa. Look buddy, just leave her alone, okay? And what if I don't? Kurogasa said. I'll knock your block off. Naruto said, pointing his finger at Kurogasa. Fine then, it's settled. If I win this fight, Azuki will finally go out with me. Kurogasa said. Huh. Naruto went. And if Naruto wins, you never ask Azuki out ever again. Kengo exclaimed. Right. What? Kengo said. Naruto said with a serious look. I shall be the proctor of the fight. Takaru said. You might want to get out of here, Azuki-chan. Naruto said with a smiling, looking at his friend, but all she gave him was a glare before she went to stand by Kengo. Naruto looked at Kurogasa before he threw his school jacket off and tie and then rolled up the sleeves of his red long-sleeve dress shirt. Naruto got into a fighting position as he glared at Kurogasa with much determination to win this fight for his friend. Naruto didn't know it, but he felt angry at the fact that this guy thinks that a fight will make Azuki go out with him, and now he's been drug into this stupid fight, being forced to treat Azuki like she's a trophy, and that got him so angry that the Maken and chakra energy inside of him was emanating from within him, making the blonde strong. And, go! Takaru exclaimed, starting the match. Naruto and Kurogasa dashed and sent their fists at each other. As the two fists connected, a powerful shockwave erupted on contact and Kurogasa skidded backwards as his Maken shield around his fist broke, meaning that Naruto's punch was far more superior. Everyone, including Azuki and Kurogasa, were shocked at how strong Naruto was as the blonde glared at the tan red-haired giant. Naruto then took the opportunity by grabbing Kurogasa's arm and used his new strength to throw Kurogasa over his shoulder. Everyone's jaw fell as they saw the incredible move Naruto had just done to Kurogasa that no one in the student body could do, which was basically throw him over his shoulder. Kurogasa landed with a crash. Kurogasa groaned as he got back up, only to be kicked across the face by Naruto with a leaping roundhouse, but Kurogasa quickly grabbed his foot before the blonde could land and then slammed Naruto down onto the ground. As Kurogasa was about to lift Naruto from the ground, the blonde shinobi dug his fingers into the ground and held tightly into it, stopping him from being lifted from the ground. Naruto started thinking of what to do, and soon enough he got an idea thanks to his favorite dark-hair petite girl who introduced him to one of his now favorite series. Thank you, Kimi in Dragon Ball. Naruto thought, grinning. Naruto had sent his chakra to his foot, rotating it in one direction and putting much force in it. Soon enough there was spiraling blue wind-like energy surround Naruto's free foot. Rasenkaru. Spiraling kick. Naruto shouted out his new technique as he sent his new wind-enhanced kick attack straight into Kurogasa's face, making the giant release Naruto's foot and be sent flying. Everyone looked on with amazement as they saw Kurogasa fly and crashed onto the hard ground. Naruto quickly stood up and got into his fighting pose while looking at his shoe, which was scuffed up and scratched a bit from his attack. Not bad, but it's weak and incomplete to shinobi standards. I'm going to have to train to perfect it. Naruto thought. If you guys are wondering where I got that Rasenkaru idea from Dragon Ball, look up Goku vs. Piccolo and you'll see that Goku fired a Kamehameha from his feet. Ow! My face! Kurogasa exclaimed as he got up and touched his cheek where Naruto kicked. He put his hand down to reveal a red bruised swollen cheek. Whoa, that kick off Naruto's actually did a real number on Kai. Takaru said. Yeah, no kidding. Kengo agreed. You actually broke through my Maken and bruised me. You're gonna pay for that. Kurogasa yelled out. All Naruto did was smirk and moved his finger doing the universal, and also dimensional of course, sign for, bring it. Kurogasa glared at Naruto and charged at him with a battle cry. That's right you big hard-headed bastard, keep coming. Naruto whispered as he opened his hand and a ball of blue spiraling energy appeared in his hand. Takaru gasped at this with shock. No way. He finally created the Rasengan without the need for a clone. Takaru thought with shock and amazement. As Kurogasa was in Naruto's range, the blonde charged at Kurogasa and yelled out, Rasengan. As he thrust his jutsu in hand forward and slammed his spiraling orb into Kurogasa's torso. Kurogasa was putting all his energy into his Maken shield that surrounded his body, but Naruto was putting more power into his jutsu. This is for Izuki. Naruto thought as his eyes became slit and he roared as the jutsu given more power. Kurogasa's shield was destroyed delivering contact from the Rasengan to his gut. Kurogasa screamed and wailed as he was shot back flying before he fell crashing to the ground. Everyone was in silence as they registered what had just unfolded in front of them. Well, Naruto said turning to Takaru gaining the reddish-orange-haired boy's attention. Huh. Oh right. Takaru said as he stood up straight with trying to put on a serious face. Winner, Uzumaki Naruto. Everyone then cheered for the incredible match they all had just witnessed, all except for Izuki who didn't have a positive look upon her face. Naruto made his way to Kurogasa, who had a dizzy dazed look upon his face with his mouth opened as he moaned with pain. Naruto crouched down next to Kurogasa with a smirk upon his face. So you promised to never bother Izuki with a date request. Naruto said earning a nod from Kurogasa. Good. Naruto said with a single nod before he stood up and grabbed his jacket before he headed towards Izuki. Everyone started leaving as they talked about how good the match was or how awesome Naruto was, except for Izuki, Takaru and Kengo. Hey Izuki-chan. You don't need to worry about that guy bothering you about a date ever again. Naruto exclaimed with pride of helping his friend. But then suddenly Izuki punched Naruto in the gut making the young shinobi groan in pain as he held his stomach. Izuki, what the hell? Naruto exclaimed as he looked up at her. Izuki had her teeth gritting as she glared at the blonde with her violet eyes. What the hell is that you fought my own battle for me? I'm the only one who fights my own battles. Izuki yelled with anger. I'm sorry, but I just thought. You thought nothing as usual. My friends let me fight my own battles for me. And now you've proven that you aren't my friend. Izuki yelled. Naruto had sad eyes that were starting to water a bit. I tried to help you in becoming a better person, but you made me look like a weak girl who needs a man to fight her own battles for her. Is that really the thanks I get you bastard? Fuck you. Izuki yelled. Naruto looked at her for a moment before he closed his eyes tight and then he looked at her with an angry glare. Damn it, all I did was trying to be a good friend to you by helping you out with this, but you hit me and treat me like dirt as usual. That's not what a real friend does. Naruto yelled back. Fine. Then I guess we're not friends anymore. Izuki yelled. Fine. Naruto yelled back. Fine. Fine. The two then stormed off in the opposite direction leaving Takaru and Kengo alone with their faces in shock. Wait, but, Naruto. Takaru called out the blonde's name, but he kept on walking. Izuki. The reddish-orange-haired boy yelled out the fiery redhead's name who just ignored him and continued to walk. Kurogasa, this is all your fault. Takaru yelled at the giant as he stormed off in his own direction. Kengo just stood there for a moment looking from left to right and then stared at Kurogasa, who still lied on the ground moaning in pain, before the dark-haired pervert ran after Takaru. Naruto, now with his sleeves down and jacket next to him, was sitting on a bench that was near a body of water as he stared at the water with sad eyes that were dry from crying. Why did this have to happen? Naruto asked himself through thought. Well, she was a bit fiery now, wasn't she? Kurama said. Shut the fuck up, you Kyuubi. Go to hell. I'll kill you, umotherfucker. Naruto yelled at the beast through his mind. Whoa, what the hell? Kyuubi retorted. I'm sorry Kurama, I just feel like shit, ya know. Naruto said through his mind link. Oh I know, I have to look at you when you look in the mirror every day. Kurama said. Naruto just stood silent. Would you quit being a bitch? Give me a reason not to. Naruto thought. Look, you did what you thought was right, now stop crying. Kurama said. But she was angry at what I did. Sakura and any other kunoichi would be okay with it. I'm not so sure about that, but this vixen isn't a kunoichi from your world, she thinks differently, and you should respect that like you would any other person. Kurama said. Naruto thought about what the ancient fox spirit said and realized that the giant nine-tailed demon was right. You're right, Kurama. Naruto said through his mind link with his inner demon. Of course I am. Now quit being a bitch. And stop using my real name. Kurama replied to the blonde. Naruto grabbed his jacket and stood up from the bench with a determined look on his face. I gotta make this right. He said as he started running back to Tenbi. I'm sorry, what? Furin said with a raised eyebrow. I wish to know what Azuki loves. Naruto said to his fellow blonde and Yuka. Well, that's easy, she adores stuffed animals. Yuka answered, gently clapping her hands and smiling. Thank you, Yuka-chan, this really means a lot to me. Naruto said with a bow before he ran out the door and headed straight for the mall. I knew they would get together. Yuka said with a smile, her hands still connecting together. Don't jump to conclusions. Furin yelled at her best friend. Naruto was running around the mall searching for a place that sold stuffed animals, and lucky him, he found it. Naruto ran into the store and up to one of the workers. Excuse, what is your most cutest, rarest and all-around best teddy bear that you got? Naruto said without missing a beat. Oh well, that would be. I'll take it. In a dark room with many monitors, a gray-haired man with a gray beard waiting in a chair was staring at a monitor that had Naruto buying a teddy bear in a stuffed animals store. That dude's buying stuffed animals. What a fag. Iwao said as he and Wabisuke walked up to the man. Actually, he's buying that for the red-haired one who he is rooming with. They got into a bit of a rouse. The gray-haired man said. Have you been watching everything he does? Creepy. Iwao said, a bit creeped out. How do you expect me to see how well our test subject is in the field of combat? The gray-haired man said. What combat? All he's done is do stupid stuff and get lucky with 3 girls. Lucky bastard. And whenever he was in a fight, he only showed a bit of his power for like a second. Iwao complained. He's not wrong. Wabisuke said. True. Suddenly the bear that attacked Naruto yesterday walked on its hind legs towards the gray-haired man. But dear Oso here was ordered to not show his true strength, and he was around the security committee, so it really wouldn't have been much of a fair fight. The man said, scratching the bear behind its ear. He's just a joke. Iwao said with a smirk, but then the bear appeared in front of him as he transformed into a giant bear with red eyes, an extra pair of arms and spikes coming from its back and long giant ones on its elbows before it roared at Iwao, sending the brunette flying back with a scream. Wabisuke just looked at the spot where his comrade was and just went, HN. The gray-haired man chuckled as the bear transformed and walked back to his side on all fours and was scratched behind the ears again from the man. Anyway, he'll be showing us a bit more of his power soon enough. The man said with a smirk. And how do you know that? Iwao asked, rubbing the back of his head as he walked back to Wabisuke's side. I've arranged a little entertainment for him. The man said with a small grin. Naruto walked out of the mall with a large bag in his hand. Damn, that toy was expensive. Well, since it's for Azuki then it's worth it, but why give me a large bag that's larger than the toy? Naruto said. I thought you were done bitching. Kurama said. Shut up. Naruto said through his mind link. Suddenly Naruto sensed an energy signature and he sensed that it wasn't friendly. Naruto quickly jumped back as something crashed down in front of him. Naruto covered his eyes from the dust that blew with the wind before let it down and look on to see what looked like a metal man with a helmet covering his face, and he had green lining on the sides of his arms, legs and torso. What the hell? Naruto said before he got an annoyed look. Hey! Watch where you land, Robo Freak, you almost squished me. Naruto yelled at the metal man with a pissed look. The robot man didn't do or say anything, but stare at Naruto, at least that's what Naruto thought he was doing. Naruto just sighed with annoyance. Ah, screw it, I got bigger things to do. Naruto said as he took a step, but suddenly the mysterious metallic newcomer dashed at him with its hand turned into a blade and slashed at him, but Naruto jumped back. Naruto looked down at his shirt to see it with a tear horizontally through it. Naruto glared at the metal man. You wanna dance, bitch? Naruto said as he placed the bag which held Azuki's gift in it onto the floor. Fine then. Naruto then threw off his coat, rolled up his sleeves and got into his fighting stance as the bluish energy he had within himself surround him as his thirst for battle started to grow. Let's dance. Naruto said with a dangerous grin. Everyone from Maken were in their club's room. Cha-cha, why did you call an emergency meeting? Furin desired answers. Naruto-kun hasn't come back yet. Cha-cha exclaimed with worry. Everyone, excluding Takaru, Kimi and Azuki, just groaned at this. He hasn't. Oh man, I hope he's okay after what happened this afternoon. Takaru said with concern for his friend. Kengo then jammed his elbow into Takaru's side, making the reddish-orange-haired boy go, ow, and rub his side. Dude, Azuki's right there. Kengo tried to whisper to Takaru. I can hear you. The fiery redhead said with annoyance. Azuki, what's this all about? Haruko asked her fellow second year. The blonde baka stepped into my battle and fought it for me when I could have done it myself. Azuki said with an annoyed look. That's not true. Naruto just tried to tell Kurogasa to leave you alone. Kai was the one who started a fight with him, not you. Takaru said. Dude, don't do this or you'll get beat up. Kengo warned his best friend. Shut up, Kengo. Takaru raised his voice at his friend, making him flinch and some of the others look surprised. He could have let me fight him myself instead. Azuki yelled, standing from her seat with an annoyed look upon her face. But he didn't, because he was afraid of you getting hurt and he didn't want you to be forced into doing something you didn't want to do. Takaru yelled back as he stood up from his seat with an annoyed look upon his face as well. What would even make him think of me getting hurt? Kengo and I told him about the last time you fought with Kurogasa. Whoa, Takaru, don't get me involved in this. Kengo said with some worry. You what? You bastard. Azuki yelled at him, ready to knock his block off. Yeah, call me a bastard, but at least I was a true friend to him. Takaru yelled. Taki. Haruko shouted his name in shock, with her and everyone else looking at him with shock. No. She has to hear this. All Naruto did was look out for you like a true friend. He risked his well-being to protect yours and made sure Kurogasa wouldn't have to bother you again with a date, and all you did in return was punch him in the gut and say he wasn't your friend. Who the fuck would do that as a thank you? You say that you're trying to teach Naruto to be a good person when you weren't one to him and instead treated him like crap. Naruto is a good person and he treats you with more respect than any man in this school because he deeply cares about you. Treating him like what you did was wrong and you know it. So stop acting all high and mighty and apologize to Naruto. Be friends again and treat him with the same fucking respect he gives you. As Takaru finished his speech, everyone looked at him with shock at what he had just done. Azuki just looked at Takaru with wide eyes before she looked down, the shadow of her bangs covering her eyes as he fist trembled. Takaru, you might want to. Shut up, Kengo. I said what I had to. Takaru said with a serious stare, standing strong by his words and friend. Azuki, please listen. You're right. Azuki said, making Takaru look at her with surprise. You're right. I was wrong, and as I walked away I was beating myself up for it, but I was too proud to admit I was wrong. Azuki said with a lone tear going down her eye. I have to make it right. She said as she looked up with new determination in her eyes. We have to find him. Azuki exclaimed. No need, he's at the mall. Furin said with closed eyes and adjusting her glasses. He went to go buy you a cute teddy bear, it's so adorable. Yuka said with her usual smile and gently clapping her hands. Azuki's eyes widened with disbelief at the fact that Naruto actually went out of his way to get her a gift after what she had did to him. That's Naruto for ya, a true friend who always thinks about others before himself. Takaru said with a smile as he had his hands behind his head, a habit he'd picked up from his blonde ninja friend. Azuki had some tears roll down her eyes, touched that Naruto actually was getting her a gift she didn't even deserve. Well, if that's all, then I guess this meeting is over. Yuka said with her smile still there and her hands clapping gently again. As they were all heading out, Azuki walked up to Takaru. Hey slacker, thanks for the wake-up call. Azuki said, making Takaru blush from the comment. It's no problem, that's what friends are for, right? Takaru said, scratching the back of his head. Yeah. Azuki turned back and started walking away. I guess so. Why is Naruto-kun buying a cute teddy bear for you and not Cha-Cha and Kimi? Cha-Cha said with a pout as she followed and Kim followed Azuki back to their dorm. Shut up, Cha-Cha. Azuki said, earning a raspberry from Cha-Cha as the three continued their walk towards their home to wait for Naruto's arrival. Naruto jumped back as he clashed with the metal warrior with scratch wounds on his body and a black eye. You're not so bad. Naruto said to his metal counterpart who just said nothing. But I won't give up that easy. Naruto exclaimed as he created several shadow clones and charged at him with all his clones. The unknown metal man made both his hands into two long blades and used quick agility to cut through the clones and go for Naruto. The blonde shinobi managed to grab both of the robot guy's blades with his bare hands, but suddenly a giant blade shot out from its chest and straight at Naruto. Naruto jumped back, but sadly his skin was stabbed by the blade, but it didn't cause any major damage, only leaving Naruto's torso to bleed. The enemy dashed at Naruto as started slashing at him as the blonde blocked them with his arms since they were too fast to dodge. Naruto was now really getting pissed as he roared with anger, sending a shock wave that blasted the metal creature back, but it landed safely on its feet, before it dashed for the bag. Naruto's eyes quickly widened as he dived and covered the bag with his body as he was then stabbed through his torso with both the blades, before he roared and sent another shockwave that sent the metal man back again. Naruto looked at the bag and breathed out a breath of relief as he saw it and what it held was safe, before he stood up and glared at the unknown creature. Listen here, you son of a bitch. This battle is between you and me, so leave my friend's gift out of this. Naruto said angrily with a glare as his wounds were healing until the stab wounds had vanished. Naruto then roared as he charged at the metal man with great speed and started sending punches and kicks that were as strong as the robot's blades, making said automaton was blocking and parrying the attacks. Impressive, but I think he can do more. Wabisuke said as he watched the fight with Iwao, Oso and the gray-haired man. I agree, he just needs some more motivation. The gray-haired man said. Finally. Just send me down there and me and Kimusho Slammer will give him a real test. Iwao said with a smirking grin. No, step by step. The gray-haired man said, making Iwao glare at him. Either way, I have much bigger plans for the future. Naruto was finally taking the advantage as some of Kyuubi's chakra was enhancing Naruto's speed and power, making Naruto start pounding the shit out of the robot. The robot, having enough of the abuse, suddenly had spikes shoot out of everywhere around its body, making Naruto jump back with blood on his knuckles and legs. Naruto continued to glare at the metal bastard as his energy continued to rise, making him stronger by the minute. The robot decided to take the quickest route to victory by going after the bag with the teddy bear in it. Damn it. Naruto cursed as he went for the bag and covered it with his body. The robot started slashing and stabbing Naruto with its blades. Kit, forget the toy and start fighting. Kurama exclaimed. No. I have to protect it for Azuki-chan. Naruto exclaimed through his mind link. Who cares? I care. She treated you like crap and ended your friendship. I don't care. I may not be her friend, but she's my friend. Naruto yelled inside his mind. Naruto's eyes turned red and slit with rage as a grand amount of energy surrounded him. Grr, fuck off. Naruto roared as suddenly a giant bluish-green fist appeared out of his back and punched the robot away. Naruto stood up with a surprised look on his face as he saw the newly giant arm that apparently also had claws hovered over his shoulder. I didn't do that. Kurama said. No. Naruto said as he then concentrated and grew. A second bluish-green arm appeared out of his back and hovered over Naruto's other shoulder. But I did. Naruto said with a grin. Alright, robot man, let's see how good you are in round 2. Naruto said with a smirk. The robot dashed at Naruto and jumped high, aiming for a downward slash, but one of Naruto's new energy-made giant arms blocked the blades with no problem. The robot landed on the ground and charged at Naruto, but the other new appendage punched him hard in the face, sending it flying far back. The robot then dashed with incredible speed towards the bag, but Naruto summoned one of his fists to grab it while the other blocked the robot's attack and pushed him off. Geez dude, if you want your own bear then go buy one, the store I got this from is still open. Naruto said with a smirk as his giant energy fist placed the bag in between his legs. The robot then dashed and started slashing at Naruto, but the bluish-green energy fists intercepted and stared, blocking and parrying the attacks that the robot sent, while Naruto just continued to smirk with his arms crossed. One of the hands then grabbed the robot while the other grabbed its arm and then ripped it straight out of the robot's shoulder socket. The hand holding onto the arm brought the limb for Naruto to examine, only for the blonde to find that there was no wiring or flesh, thank Kami, inside the arm, but green mist-like energy that started coming out of the arm until it all vanished, leaving a shell. So you're not a robot or human, you're a living suit of armor. Naruto said, looking at the living armor that was trying to break free of the giant energy hand's grip. Then I won't feel the least bit bad for this. Naruto said as his giant energy hand released the arm and grabbed the armor's upper body and ripped it out of the lower half of itself and ripped its head off. As the mist of green energy left the armor before vanishing, Naruto released the armor. Naruto then made the two bluish-green energy arms recede back into his body as he walked towards the armor, but then suddenly three beams of black light like the one from yesterday shot out from the sky and onto the three pieces of the armor before the pieces were sucked into the sky, vanishing along with the black lights. The hell? Are we being invaded by aliens or something? Naruto said before he just shrugged his shoulders, deciding not to dwell on the event. Naruto grabbed his jacket before he grabbed the bag and smiled. Mr. Bear, you're going to make a very beautiful and sexy girl happy. Naruto said with a smile. Sexy. Damn Kit, you really are a sly dog, or shall I say sly fox. Kurama said with a grin. Shish, shut up. Naruto communicated to the beast through his thoughts before he left the area. The fuck just happened? Iwao exclaimed with wide eyes at what the blonde they had captured days ago had just done. It seems he has gained a new ability. Wabisuke said, stating the obvious. Like I said, step by step. The gray-haired man said. Suddenly a door leading into the dark room opened, revealing a masked soldier with a large container in hand. Sir, we have acquired what you have demanded. The soldier said, bringing in the container and giving it to the gray-haired man. Thank you very much. The gray-haired man thanked the soldier before the minion left. What's that? Iwao asked. The chakra of the Nibi no Neko. The man said with a smile. What? Why did you want that? Iwao asked as he and Wabisuke were curious. Let's just say, I've got big plans along with the rest of the other tailed beast chakras. The man said, grinning with excitement and delight. Takaru waited outside, leaning on the railing where he and Naruto had talked. He waited there for his friend, knowing he'd do the same for him. Takaru then heard footsteps heading his way. Hey Takaru, I didn't expect you to be here. Naruto said as he walked up to his friend. Takaru turned to him to have his eyes widen in shock as he saw the cut wounds, black eye and blood that scattered on what was left of his uniform. Whoa, what the hell happened? Takaru asked his friend with concern. Would you believe I got into a fight at the store? Naruto said with a smirk. Fight? Yes. At the store? No way in hell. Takaru answered. Well, it was worth a shot. Naruto said, shrugging his shoulders. So what actually happened? Takaru asked. I was attacked by a living suit of armor that could generate blades. Naruto answered. Damn. What's with these attacks? First the bear, now this. Takaru said. You know, now that I recall the events that happened an hour and a half or so ago, I remember seeing the Mayonaka Moon Shikai symbol on his shoulder. Naruto said. What? Oh man, we've got to tell the others. Takaru said. Ah, we'll worry about that tomorrow. I think the security committee has had enough excitement today. Naruto said. Yeah, I guess you're right. Takaru agreed. I'm just glad you're still breathing. Same here. Naruto said. Well, see ya. Wait, you should know that Azuki wanted to see you. Takaru informed the blonde. She wants to beat me again. Naruto asked. Quite the opposite, she wanted to apologize. Takaru said, making Naruto look at him with a surprised look. She really does care for you, Naruto. Takaru said with a smile. Well, I'm heading back inside, good night. Takaru wished his friend good night before he entered his dorm. Alright, night. Naruto said as he walked up the stairs. Once Takaru entered his dorm, he headed straight for the loft, until he was stopped. Taki. Haruko said, her longtime friend and crush's name, getting his attention. Ah, yeah, Haruko. Takaru replied. What you said today back at the meeting, even though it might have sounded a bit harsh, I thought it was real mature of you to do so. Haruko said. Well, I was looking out for both of my friends. Takaru said with a grin, making Haruko smile and nod at him. Well, good night Haruko, sweet dreams. Takaru said before climbing the ladder up to the loft. Yeah, good night, sweet Taki. Haruko whispered, still smiling and with a blush. Just admit you want him already. Himegami said, being behind Haruko. Himegami. Naruto walked inside his dorm and went to Azuki's room door, where he took a deep breath and exhaled before knocking on the door. A few moments later, Azuki opened the door, seeing it was a banged-up Naruto who was smiling at her. Naruto. Oh my god. What happened to you? Azuki yelled with concern, waking Kimi and Cha-Cha up. That's not important right now. Right now, I want to make things right. Naruto said with sad eyes. Azuki was a bit confused at this. I wanted to say I'm sorry about before. I shouldn't have gotten involved in your business and I acted wrongly towards you, and to show how much my apology and our friendship means to me, I got you this. Naruto gave Azuki the bag he had in his hands. Azuki looked down at the bag as she grabbed it. She then reached inside the bag and pulled out what she thought was the cutest bear she had ever seen. The teddy bear was snow white, had angel wings, a halo, and held a red heart that said, I love you, in its hands. A rare gorgeous Snow White Guardian Angel Collector's Edition. I love you, bear. You actually got me this. Azuki exclaimed with much shock as she held the bear in her hand. Yeah, it sure cost a lot, almost dried me out. Naruto said, scratching the back of his head. Naruto, I don't deserve this. Azuki said. Naruto put both his hands onto Azuki's, making her look up at his enchanting cerulean eyes. Not in my eyes. Naruto said genuinely. Azuki's cheeks then took on a shade of pink as she leaned in closer to Naruto. What are you doing? Naruto quickly asked with a surprised look. Azuki stopped, realizing what she was about to do. Nothing. Azuki said, leaning back and still blushing. Naruto blushed as well, but after clearing his throat he extended his hand to Azuki. Friends. Naruto said, hoping she'd say yes. Azuki smiled at him with a genuine smile. Of course. Azuki said, making Naruto smile. She then jumped at Naruto and wrapped her arms around his neck and rested her head on his shoulder, giving him a warm hug, making the blonde shinobi blush. I am so lucky to have you as my friend. Azuki said with tears pouring down her eyes. Naruto just smiled as he returned the warm hug. Suddenly the doors of Cha-Cha and Kimi's rooms opened, with them peeking out to see Naruto and Azuki hugging each other, and they decided to join in by tackling the two into a group hug. Naruto-kun, you're back. Cha-Cha exclaimed with so much joy. You two made up. Kimi exclaimed with an equal amount of joy. Is this the bear? He's so cute. Cha-Cha exclaimed as she took hold of Azuki's bear. Her nightwear was a black nightgown she showed off to Naruto. He's so adorable. Kimi said. Her nightwear was a pajama shirt and pajama shorts. Gimme that back. It's mine. Azuki exclaimed, taking her bear back. Naruto-kun, you gotta get me a cute bear too. Cha-Cha exclaimed. Me too. Kimi exclaimed as well. Oh man, my wallet's going to be completely empty at this rate. Naruto said, groaning. Cha-Cha and Kimi then just noticed the state that Naruto was in. Oh my god. Naruto-kun, what happened? Kimi and Cha-Cha exclaimed with concern. Oh nothing, just a run-in with a killer suit of armor. Naruto said, scratching the back of his head, but then flinched in pain as he grabbed his torso. Cha-Cha then gentle grabbed his shoulder. Oh you poor thing, Cha-Cha will tend to you. Cha-Cha said as she grabbed Naruto and lifted him over her shoulder. And you can sleep with Cha-Cha-chan too. The dark-skinned girl said as she headed straight for her room. What? Azuki exclaimed. I want to tend to him too and sleep in your room. Kimi said, following Cha-Cha. No. If anyone is going to tend to Naruto, it's me. Azuki exclaimed, making Cha-Cha and Kimi look back at her with surprised faces. Azuki blushed, realizing what she had said. Let's just fix him up, okay? Azuki said as she headed inside Cha-Cha's room, with Cha-Cha and Kimi following right behind her. Girls, I can just heal these wounds myself, ya know. Naruto said. Shut up. Azuki exclaimed. As they entered the room, the girls tended to Naruto's wounds, and after a long process the girls all got tired and fell atop of Naruto and fell into the unconscious dreamland. Girls, girls. Oh boy. Naruto said as he closed his eyes and followed them into the dream world.